Alrighty then, we are live from Columbus, OH, home of the defending national champion Ohio State Buckeyes. Alrighty then. And also currently undefeated and ranked #1 in the nation. Test. That's weird. All right, kicking it up a little bit. All right, that's better. Alrighty, let's go here. Time to get into some. Oh, I did not time to get in some questions because I didn't do my opening plugs yet. I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you have money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track or you think you might be being a dumbass, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me. And I'll probably not call you a dumbass. I'll just say that's not really smart. And my financial content on youtube.com/coachstevemoney is the page. And if you scroll past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlist, you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist, and the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist, and the music playlist that has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Do check those out. Those are kind of fun. And if you learn the words to them, you can sing them if you're a better singer than me and send me a copy of it. Because I'd love to hear anybody else singing these songs. Or also, if it comes on while you're in the grocery store, you'll think of these words instead of the regular words, maybe. And that'll be fun. I have gotten that complaint from several people that they always think of the wrong words now. Fun times. And let's see, what are we going to do? New segment. Time for a new segment. Time for a new segment. Time for a new segment. Don't. And that new segment will be, of course, budget question of the day. And last night I found r/budget, which I might have been told. If I was told it existed, I didn't remember it, or if I found it earlier. But I just on a whim checked it last night, because when we often talk about the Dave Ramsey subreddit, and people should not be asking if they should have loans on that. Why would you call up Dave and ask him if you should get a loan for anything other than a mortgage, of course? If you're on step 4, meaning 3B, the down payment is done as well, and you don't have any non-mortgage debt. Otherwise, you don't buy a house at that point. But anyway, people not doing the Ramsey advice, so I was thinking about other ones, and I thought budgeting might be one. And so I did check with that one, and I am all ready to go in case we run out of regular Dave Ramsey subreddit questions. But I decided to go ahead and do this one because this is exactly where I was last night. So I thought maybe we'll do one budget question a day. And these are not necessarily always specifically about the budget. I don't know what they allow on here. But pretty much anything about money, you're trying to fit it into your budget if it's spending money. Like, for example, if you get an apartment and you're going to be paying more money or less money, that affects your budget, right? And I was in this exact same spot up until for a while, since, a couple months, until last week when I nailed down the new apartment that I'm moving to. And so I need help between moving to apartments. So between two apartments. So let's see what is going on here. Not up. Up is a different thing. It's a direction. Going on is something that's happening. I, 24 man, okay, I'm quite older than that. Posted a month ago about a different third apartment that I decided not to go with because of the commute. Yep, and that's exactly why I'm moving, because of the commute. Gonna turn a 26-minute, I think, commute into an 8-minute commute, because that's less gas, that, has less time in the car. You can sleep another 15 minutes, that kind of thing. And also easier to get there for extra shifts and stuff like that. I have found two others since then, and I'm having trouble deciding between them. I have been living with my parents to save money on my savings account. So my savings account is good right now. Okay, I did not move back in with my parents personally. And of course, Mr. Ramsey does not advise that. He thinks once you're an adult, you need to be living on your own and deal with the world instead of being sheltered from it and being coddled that way. Let's see. Anyway, but ultimately, I want to still keep saving and don't want to let lifestyle creep happen just because I can afford for it to. I can afford for it to, right now at least. Well, you would hate to think your income is going to be going down, so why wouldn't you? You got other upcoming expenses that aren't there now. Well, you can certainly save up for those as well. Let's see, income monthly after tax, $53,830. Includes 5% pre-tax retirement contribution, 200 check with okay. So again, not necessarily a Ramsey person, and so might have debt, and that's dumb. That's crap to do. And you would not have savings if you were over $1,000 starter emergency fund if you had debt, but we'll see. Gas, $90 to $100 a month. So it's like $25 a week. That's not bad, I guess. Depends on how long the commute is. Oh, he did say about the commute. So maybe, yeah. So maybe that's okay. Maybe not just running the road and trying to buy all the gas. Car insurance, $72. That doesn't seem crazy either. Phone, $40. You can get lower phone service than that. Gym, $30. Are you actually going? And you could just work out at home instead. Digital subscriptions, $20. I'll let that one go. How about that? If we don't have any debt, but oh no, look, we got debt. 65 to 103. So that is the amount of the payment, probably, the payments. And so not the amount. So that's a no. So between $850 and $1,000 in fixed costs? What? Oh, no, that's... I thought that explained the asterisk. Do we not have an asterisk? Oh, there it is. Could make this as low as $65 as I have very little in loans and could pay them off. Well, then you should pay them off. But again, might just be about the budget. And in this case, just between the two apartments. So we'll get to that. Food, $225. You could probably cut that out. You could probably cut down on that. Maybe he's chipping in for food with mommy and daddy, or maybe he's moving in with mommy and daddy and then he's eating out every meal. Bad. Shouldn't do it. Let's see. Apartment 1, 700 square feet, $1,595. The electricity, that should be about the same. The internet, all that should be about the same. If theoretically you're trying to get a low commute, so they should basically be in the same area. So these costs shouldn't vary that much. Renter's insurance, water, sewage, gas, yeah. Parking, this is garage parking, $200. Yeah, okay, babe. That's $2,400 a month. So if there's street parking on the other one, that probably wins immediately. 1792 to 2017. Yeah, they always do that because they say, okay, 1792 is the base price of it, but we put this thing that costs $10 into this other into this apartment, and that makes it nicer. And so we're going to charge more. 2642 to 3000 total cost per month. Leaves me with about 2300 to 23,700 for savings plus fun. What should the split here be? The split should be all to debt, all to your student loan debt. Again, you know, not a Ramsey subreddit, so might not even be doing that at all. So I guess I'll drop the Ramsey stuff and we'll see what the apartment is. Oh, the pros: better neighborhood, more walkable, shorter commute, parking situation, not near public transport. What do you need public transport for if you have a car? Illogical, Captain. Apartment 2, 1470, 1595. So that's going to be cheaper. Oh, but it's only 520 to 600 feet. How much space do you need for one person? You'll be fine with that. So that's not going to be a negative for me. 100, 125, internet 65. So about the same there. Oh, gated lot parking. Where is this person looking for apartments that is like has lot parking and stuff? Are they gated communities or something like that? I mean, and granted, it's more expensive than I'm gonna be paying. Sure. But you know, for them to add on $100 for parking, let's see, not a lot of opportunity to street park. Is there opportunity to street park? Then do it. Then what do you mean not a lot of it? Worst area near large construction sites, so it might get dinged. Okay, let's worry about everything. Okay, so that wouldn't put me off, but again, the parking, but that's still cheaper, $100 cheaper than the other one though. If it has to be this one or that one, probably what I'm doing is if I came across these two, I'm probably looking for still a third one. Maybe he has done that. He had a third one earlier, but I'm probably still looking until it's too late to do that. I mean, and when it's too late to start looking, because you don't want to pay application fees to 100 different apartments. This time I ended up paying only 2. The first one I paid was because, and of course this raised my hackles. Is that what gets raised? I don't know. But this, the opposite of buttering my biscuit, I guess. But I was angry about it. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the application fee. So I paid the application fee. The lady that worked at the apartment knew that my lease went to October 13th. Okay, she knew that. I made sure she knew that. And she doesn't deny that she knew that. So put in the application. Didn't think there'd be any problem. And then I told her I wanted to move in the first of the month. Or actually, I was going to take it earlier because they didn't allow you to wait that long. And so I was going to take the apartment earlier, but then they don't allow you to have 2 leases at the same time for more than like 2 weeks. 2 weeks is their maximum. And, you know, I'm like, you knew that already when you had me apply. So anyway, and I called back. I was told to call back when it got closer to the time, so I did that as well. And they did have an apartment available, but I still would have had to pay another application fee, and they would have to do the application all over again, which was unacceptable for me. So, but fortunately, I found a better, closer place for that anyway. So, but apartments do be doing stuff that are sus for sure. Some of them anyway. Pros: closer to transport, better parking, cooler building. As in temperature, or it's cool, man. You know, pop the collar up, right? Cons: worst neighborhood, not as walkable. Okay, I mean, in that, if it comes down to if it comes down, well, let's see what the notes are first. Apartment 1 seems like a nice place to live, but the parking is expensive. Summing it up for us. Okay, apartment 2 at least has gated parking for cheaper. Yep, and going with the 520 square feet unit might give me some extra money. Yep. The wild card in both of these is electricity. I literally have no clue what it will cost. I've called the utility. It should not be that much different. Utility company, and they said for the last 12 months each averages 80 per month. Yeah, they should be about the same. But both buildings are brand new, so their numbers might not reflect actual usage. It still shouldn't be that much between. That shouldn't be, I wouldn't think that would be enough to be an issue. Because the reason you're choosing the apartment for the other reasons will outweigh the extra $10 or something that it would cost for that. Oh, they use electric heating as well, so I'm worried about getting smacked with a huge bill during the winter. Yeah, I was concerned about that too because the apartment when I moved to Arkansas, that one did electric heating as well, and I never had that before. I had gas heating, and I was always told and slash under the impression that gas heating was cheaper. And so I thought it might be more, but it wasn't much more at all, if any. My total for electric and gas, and for both regular electric and then plus the electric heating on top of that, it wasn't more than my overall for electric and heating, gas heating combined either. So actually I think it was cheaper, matter of fact, than both of those, because if you only have the electric heating, you have the built-in cost where it's going to cost this much. Like it's going to cost $60 no matter what, no matter how much you use or whatever. It's going to cost X amount, no matter how much you use, and then you just have how much you used added on to that. And so because there's not another utility to pay where they have the same thing, it's going to cost you X, for, well, where you got to run the pipe and stuff like that. Yeah, you do. That's called the cost of business, doing business. So anyway, and I didn't mean for this to get into a diatribe about all that. Sorry. But anyway, electric heating as well. So that one wouldn't, so I wouldn't think that you would do that unless it gets very, very cold. Now, I didn't have any problem with it getting plenty warm, and I didn't have to set the temperature that high. I don't set it that high in the summer. I don't set it that high in the winter, or very low in the summer at all. Maybe one of the benefits of having the diabetes, that the way my body temperature works, I guess. I'm fine with normally having it set to 80 even, or maybe 78 if it's really, really hot outside. So, but come over here, I negated to check to see if this place that I'm in right this second, if it had central heating and air, which it doesn't. There's a wall unit upstairs, so where the bedroom is. And so I don't have any problem being cool enough there. And generally 81 is the lowest I have set it at all this summer. But down here, there's like a long thing, like that's like it's like a vent, but it has like a heating element inside of it. And that didn't seem like it was worth running. I would get better heat from a small ceramic heater about this big, and it didn't cost that much to run either. So, but still, at times it was a little chilly, and of course only had that one little small area where the small ceramic heater was. If it was a bigger problem, I would have gotten a bigger heater, but didn't need to, or like a kerosene heater or something like that. Anyway, that's my story, and I didn't know that I was going to do that. Sorry. Some people have said I like to talk. But as far as this, I don't think the electricity would be that much of an issue. You can certainly further investigate it, but you might not know until you get in the building exactly how much you're gonna spend in it, because the previous people in it, they might have liked it to be super cold in the summer and super hot in the winter, and that's going to be more than you would run it yourself. So that's kind of hard to tell on that. But these other things, I mean, I would go, you don't need the extra space, so I would go with the smaller one. The smaller one also is $100 cheaper a month on parking as well. So those are the ones that would sway it for me. I'm not worried about the construction area in there. I mean, when you say near a large construction site, I mean, if that's going to be keeping you up at night, or if you work at night and have to sleep during the day, or if they start way before you have to wake up in the morning, that might be an issue. But other than that, I don't think the other things that you mentioned would be a problem for me, and they might not be for you. You're the one living there, so you ultimately are the one that has to make this choice. Yeah. Alrighty. How about we do some financial questions, shall we? Too much talking. Need some water. All right. Need a car. This from who's this? Championship Entire 70. Okay. Now, need isn't really a need. Let's see. Me and my wife, the King's English on that, sir, would be my wife and I, are nearing the end of our debt-free journey. Only $11,000 left. I am in need of a second vehicle. So why are you in need of it? Because you want it does not mean you need it. If it is for the wife, perhaps, who actually does need to go places while you have the vehicle at work or something like that, then okay, that's a different thing. You guys together might decide that you need it, and that's fine. But you don't need a second vehicle. Oh, like people think they need a truck for, oh, I need the truck so I can haul stuff. If you have to haul stuff once or twice a year, rent a freaking truck for it instead of buying one. That's so dumb on baby step 2 to do that. I don't want to go back into debt. And people put that all the time. I got a great idea. Then don't. Take debt off the table. That is part of baby step 0. You decide you're going to take debt off the table in the future. And you're going to pay off all your dumbass debt that you already took out. That's part of baby step 0. Anyway, but need something reliable. Again, need. I'll be the judge of that, sir. Because I find the average person is not a good judge of need, and they use the word incorrectly. What price range to find something dependable? You're so dumb. People are dumb. I need a year out of it so then I can upgrade after paying off the debt. No, you don't. Why do you need to upgrade too? See, I would ask this person about all of this to help him explain this dumbassery to me. There's not a price range to find something dependable, you idiot. Somebody may have a car that is perfectly fine, no problems about it, no problems with it, and you won't have any problems and sell it to you for $1,000. Okay? Somebody might have that. On the other hand, you might pay $10,000 for something that is not in good shape and it ends up costing you way more than that in repairs. And so we don't know. So we can't say what is a good price range. And then you look for that price range and then you'll be all right. Even you most likely will be all right. Nobody can say that. So you're being nutty on several fronts here, including the need without explaining what it's for. And so 28 comments, a little too many. Otherwise, I would go in there and find out if this is an actual need or not. Where'd my phone go? What username is 77? Okay. What does Dave say about buying a multifamily property as your first property / PPOR? I don't know. Does R stand for rental? That's going to be a no. You don't combine your mortgage and also a business thing for rental. You don't combine that. That's a no. If you're, and you also have to be on step 7 in order to buy a property like that. To even do that to begin with, you would not do rental property if you are not on step 7. Let's see, has Dave ever commented in general on the wisdom of buying a multifamily property? Yeah, he has. He says you don't want to live next door to your renters. So that's going to be a no for him on that as well. The idea being to have the other unit contribute handily to the mortgage. Yeah, you're trying to scheme and scam. I get it. But that's a no. For rental property, it has to be paid for completely in cash. So that's a no again. And to stay within the benchmark Dave recommends. Context, I'm considering. No, that is not a way to get around it having to be a 15-year fixed rate mortgage. If you can't afford it on a 15-year fixed rate mortgage, if you can't afford the payment, then it's too much house for you to buy. So stop trying to scheme and scam and do it right, or you don't have to do it at all. Context, I'm considering buying a property that Americans would call multifamily. Yep. Could also be a triplex or duplex. Yep. The appeal is this. The people try to do this dumb crap all the time. Then I can get a 15-year fixed. No, you can get a 15-year fixed anyway. You just can't get as expensive a house as you want. Which is the idea. You want too much house. And Mr. Ramsey knows that. That's why he says a nar from him. And you should understand that if you're not in America, apparently. If you're in Australia, maybe you understand NAR. Mortgage payments less than 25% of total income. Yeah, Mr. Wolf. And with a renters in the other units. I can then have the leverage of owning a larger property. Okay, see, we don't do debt leverage. We don't do leverage. Mr. Ramsey is not only the no debt guy, he's also the no debt leverage guy. Yeah. Owning a larger property for capital gains. Yeah. He doesn't care if you have a larger property for capital gains. Quit being dumb. The Australian, yes, dude. So that's a nar, and a nar. I should get a clip of somebody saying that. There's this one movie reactor couple or movie and TV show reactor couple, and the wife in it that is part of the couple, she will do that often during a reaction. She will go nar, and it's way longer than that. I don't know how she holds it that long. Anyway, the Australian context explains a lot for why this would make sense to do in Australia. Yeah, stuff costs way too much there. Move, defect to America. Baby step 3, a flare. So at least you're not in step 2. That's great. But if you're in baby step 2, you shouldn't be, 3, you shouldn't be doing this. You need to get your full emergency fund. And if you're buying a house, have 6 months of it, not just 3 months of it. So you try to buy some dumbass house to try to have leverage, to have more capital gains. Don't do that crap. Let's see, this makes sense to do in Australia. But not in the USA. No, you don't get a pass because you're in Australia and it's just overpriced. You can move out of that country because that is stupid as crap. Yes, they make more money, but not as much as the price disparity. Like a freaking $5,000 house here in the Midwest costs over $1 million there. So that's a no. So it doesn't matter if you make $20,000-$30,000 more there, because you get because the same dollar also has more buying power here in addition to prices being lower. So get the heck out of down under, mate. Mainly the market is so distorted here. Yeah, the average Australian household spends 50% of their income on their new home loan payments. Yeah, and Mr. Ramsey's advices don't do that. He doesn't have a situation for your dumbass country economics. The country's not dumb. People not necessarily dumb, but the economics are dumb as crap. And so I would move away from them probably, rather than buying into it and, oh, I have to take out this loan. I have to do this. No, you don't have to do anything. You're choosing to do all of it. And that's fine. But again, don't ask for Mr. Ramsey's advice then. There's too much to get into on the Australian property market dynamics. I just explained it already. And I loathe it, but sadly the only thing less rational than buying property in this environment is not buying property. You're a dumbass. You don't buy it if you can't afford it. You don't get, well, I have to buy it. See, you're again with the leverage. You're being stupid, mate. For context, I rented my apartment a year ago, and if it went back on the market tomorrow, it would be rented for 25% more. This is common now. Yeah, move away from that dumbass crap. For rental properties, by the way, the net yield on rental returns is typically 1% or break even. Yeah, that's why you don't do that either. It's not worth it. It only really works in Australia if you're betting on capital gains, i.e. the system is rotten to the core. But it can stay broken longer than I can stay solvent by trying to live outside of it. Live outside of it by moving to a different country. Say bye-bye, Australia. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Otherwise, I get it. If you have family there, I get it. You don't want to leave, then you got to deal with it. The advice is not going to change for your little situation. And because the Australia economy is screwed up all to heck. That's going to be a nar from Mr. Ramsey. I would love to hear him say that one time. Nar. Why did I open that twice? That was that one. Oh, that's that. Yes. Okay. So that's a nar on that one. There's a short answer on that one. Stay on one more year, and look, we got bullet points. Yay! Always like that. Most times like that. Every once in a while, I don't like it. Stay home one more year, then rent till 25, or move out now, or buy a cheap house. Again, adults living with mommy and daddy, not recommended by Mr. Ramsey. 21 and trying to plan out the next few years. 11K in checking. 97.4K in taxable investments. You would not have that. Did I do this one already? I have changed spots. I think I did. Because I think this is money that you should not have now. You should be just piling up cash to move. And if you have almost $100,000, I think you have enough cash to move. Roth, 3K in NVIDIA. NVIDIA is great. It's wonderful. Fabulous. But no single stocks is also Mr. Ramsey's advice. Plan right now, stay in one more year and invest $3,500 a month. Then move out and rent $1,400 a month until 25 with rent, food, and bills at around $2K a month, plus $1,400 a month into taxable. I'd be left with $1,600 a month to live on. Also keep putting $7K a year into my Roth. Okay, that's fine if you have full emergency fund and you do not have any non-mortgage debt, which I assume you don't. By my math, this will put me around $260K taxable and $360K net worth by 25. My main goal is $168K taxable for a pizza shop fund. So we're trying to start a business before we have a house. Is that what we're doing? I'd hit that by 22 or 23. Okay, after that, the extra money is basically for a future house. Okay, I mean, you're the one that gets to decide this. As far as whether Mr. Ramsey would go along with it, I doubt it. You're not supposed to put your money to the majority of your money, that much anyway, 168K into a pizza shop. And most new businesses fail. And I would bet that the number one on that list would be restaurants. And so you should get your life together first for trying to put that much towards business, I believe is what he would say. I'm not sure though. If I moved out now instead and invest $1,400 a month taxably starting immediately, and that is what Mr. Ramsey would recommend, by 25, that would put me around 20. Okay, blah, 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 blah. I'd hit the 168K pieces of shop goal later, closer to 23 and a half. Yeah, and you'd still be a baby at that point. So other options I'm waiting. Renting costs me almost 17K a year. I can instead save for a year and buy a crappy quote. Yeah, it doesn't have to be crappy. Just because it doesn't cost $300,000 doesn't mean it's crappy. 150K house, but that might mean restarting the pizza shop fund and not hitting 168 until closer to 30. Yeah, that's still a better idea to do. Yeah, you should take care of your life first before trying to build a business with that kind of investment. Now, if you can build a business with very little investment and then just put the money from that business back into the business, then that's fine to do even in step 2. Of course, step 2, the majority of your money should be going to pay off debt. Or I could rent until I hit so many different things, until I hit the 168K goal and save 40K a year for, yeah. So you already heard my advice. Nothing you type here is going to change it. For context, my dad owns a couple of pizza shops and makes pretty good money doing it. I know most restaurants fail. Yes, dude. But this is the path I really want to pursue. Would you stay at home, then rent, so move out for now, or go for a house earlier, even if it slows the pizza shop fun? I got a great idea. And maybe you've already been working in one of your dad's shops, but if not, you're a dumbass. If you want to be in the pizza shop business, why wouldn't you work in there? So I would spend a couple of years at least working on that, and by that, you have your own house by then as well. So, and what are you doing now to be making all this money? What are you doing? So, how many... Oh, yeah, let's see. How many comments? Hey, I don't remember. I'll look through a couple of them. I'm all for moving out. With a piece in competition with your dad's shops. That's an interesting thing. I think I would open a store and he would own 51% of it. That's a no. Nope. Nope. And no. Only ship that won't sail as a partnership is what Mr. Ramsey says all the time. So that's a no. I didn't notice the guy's name was Pizza Kings with ones instead of the I's. I wonder if that's going to be his business name as well. The timeline for opening a store is still up in the air, but the original plan was 26. Stay home 2 more years if it does not cramp your style. No, that's not Ramsey advice, of course. Stay home another year or 2 years. That's not. Not 22, 3 and married with a baby girl on the way. House has gone up in value. Oh, but paid off by 30. He did not open a pizza shop, I'm guessing. Yeah, somebody was right there. Right there. And of course, the internet is unforgiving and they will not wait to pounce. And I thought the same thing, though. That's very good for your son, but can he buy a pizza shop? No, he can't. So don't get, yeah. Some people kill me, man. Yeah. Hey, it's true, though. It's true, though. So if this kid too meets the right girl, um, it'll be like what pizza shop? That's why you don't plan out your whole life. Oh, he could if he wanted to, but he didn't like pizza. I don't know about that if he has that much money. But yeah, I'm interested in if the poster here has any uh, pizza shop experience. You would think so, maybe, but because that's a waste if you have not, if your dad has pizza shops and you have not worked there. I mean, maybe you have. And if you have, great, then you have a better idea of it, but that still doesn't mean your pizza shop will work. Just feels weird being 21 living with at home. All right. Well, it also feels weird leaving out words of your sentences, but you did that. Definitely would be nice to keep the extra 24K a year. Yeah, but again, that's not. If it feels weird, it should feel weird. And so that's why Mr. Ramsey says "nar" on living with mommy and daddy after you become an adult. How the hell do you get? You got 100K in the bank at 21? That is a good question as well. Oh, I worked 30 hours a week with starting my sophomore year of high school. By the time I turned 18, it doesn't say where either. Why can't you say where you worked? Also got big into investing my sophomore year, making a couple thousand from Tesla, Apple, Google. I don't do single stocks. So daddy had to be involved with that because you can't, I don't think you can open a brokerage account at 16 or whatever you would be in sophomore year. I think that's right. About 16. Yet where? 40 hours a week starting the sophomore. Yeah, 40 is excessive, I would think. And so since it is 40, that leads me to believe it might be the pizza shop. You're grade A hater. Dude, it's Reddit. It's the internet. Come on. Come on. Come on. You got to expect that. Where is... See if there's any other OP stuff. I think high school was a joke. My personal finance teacher couldn't even afford to put brakes on his car. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. Still doesn't say where he worked. I would feel much better about everything if he worked at his dad's pizza shop. Or multiple of them. Bum, 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 bum. That person says, take money and finances completely out of the equation. You can't. You can't for this. But I mean, if his thing was here's another reason why you couldn't, that's certainly fine. All right. So yeah. So that's probably you get your life on track first, and so but yeah, I mean the whole thing about having your dad own 51% of it, then it's not yours. You can be outvoted on anything. So that's a no. You don't start businesses with family. You can work with family, but one of you has to be the boss and the other one has to be the employee, and not some crap where, if he wants to leave you when he dies or when he retires, he wants to leave you all the pizza shops, that's fine, but no partnerships like that. Too much bad stuff can happen. Spouses, how to respectfully build financial boundaries. I should stop reading these and previewing them, probably, because I can't remember if I read. I don't think I did. Anyway, oh my goodness gracious me. That's a lot of text. I'll skim it. Spouse's spending problem, but I can pay off the debt. How to respectfully build financial boundaries. I think I did read this one. Maybe. No, I don't remember all of this stuff. Engineer, she's attorney. Yeah, I don't remember that part of it. So maybe I just briefly talked about it. if I can briefly talk about anything. How to respectfully build financial boundaries. You should have done that before you got married, and so probably you're going to need some counseling. You and your spouse together, and you figure out all this stuff together instead of you coming to Reddit trying to work around her. But how to respectfully do that, you say, here's what I'd like to do. And then she says, here's what she'd like to do, which is probably keep spending money. And then you guys do a compromise on that. And any compromise you come up with trumps the Ramsey advice, because obviously you want to stay married, I would think. She's likely to get into keeping up with the Joneses that are her friends. Yep. What announcement? However, with this recent announcement, I find out that while I've been diligently saving and depriving myself of the things that I want to do so that I can save money largely out of my own paycheck, she's been spending money she doesn't have. Okay, and this is why we combine finances, and this is why you both look at them occasionally to make sure none of this stuff is going on. See, sir, you're a dumbass because you never talked about this before marriage, apparently. And she's spending more than you guys have, and she didn't think it was a problem enough to mention it. I guess maybe she did. Due to our income disparity, I've historically not asserted a lot of financial boundaries because I wanted to avoid having money be a weird power dynamic in our relationship. And what is it now? What is it now? What is it now, sir? Quit being a dumbass. You have to talk to your future spouse about money. I'm not willing to bail her out without consequences this time. Okay, my man. I don't need to read any more of this crap. Okay, I don't care about your numbered list of grievances there. I'm sure you have some. And that was not good of her to do, but also it's not good of you to do things that you were doing. Like trying to not rock the boat by bringing it up. That was dumb of you, sir. So both of you are at fault. Go to a counselor and fix it and compromise on how to fix the situation. So, and neither of you will be happy, but maybe you'll be able to have the rest of your life together because of that. M Creek renovations. Did I mess up getting gap insurance? What is this on? A vehicle? Yeah, so the gap insurance, that takes care of the gap if you're leased or finance vehicle gets totaled or stolen and you owe more on it than you owe on it, and so that takes care of the difference between that. And so that's a no. How much? $800. $800 gone. And so that's going to be a no for Mr. Ramsey. Did you mess up? Yes. That would be a yes for Mr. Ramsey. So don't do it. Belly button 556. Paid off house. Excellent. I don't know where this post is, but I feel like for me, this community will appreciate it. About a year ago, my father passed away, and between life insurance payouts and now the selling of his house, which was paid off, I've been able to pay off my family's home. Excellent. It's a very weird feeling because without my father passing, I would be in baby step 2 still. And now I'm on baby step 7. Yeah, but that's still going to be the best case scenario, obviously, with the exception of being without your father. So at least you did not blow all the money. You did something very responsible with the money. So I get that, but you made the best of the situation. And would you go back into baby step 2 to have your father back? I'm sure you would. Huge blessing from a sad situation. I know that it's what you would have wanted, which is making me feel a little better. Good. But I now know what everybody says when they say the grass feels different under your feet when the house is paid for. Yeah. I must have looked so silly laying in the yard with, oh, I actually did it. Actually did it. Fun. Fun, fun, fun. Andy Red 04. Baby step number 2 with a check mark on it. I mean, you completed it? Oh, yeah. My wife, 32 female, and I, 32 man, completed baby step number 2 today. Household income of $200,000 gross and had just under $30K of consumer debt back in May. Started the snowball and finally paid off my truck loan, the last remaining non-mortgage debt today. Right. Getting started on baby step 3 today with plans to fully fund our emergency fund by the end of January. Yes. And I know what the poors are saying right now. Well, sure, you could pay off $30K if you make $200K. Yeah, and this is abnormal because normally people that make $200K are a lot more of a dumbass and they spend more percentage-wise. They go more into debt percentage-wise than the poors do. And so you can't just take their high income and apply it to your low amount of debt in general. In this case, a poor could easily have $30K in debt. But at some point, for the poors, the bank turns off the debt sieve there for you and says, no, we're not allowing you to be any more in debt because we don't trust you because you're a poor. Eric Haynes. Advice needed, please. I'm on baby step 1 as well as some others. And no, you're not. You're a dumbass for thinking you can be on more than one step at the same time. Actually, you can. But when you're on baby step 1, you can't be on any others. You're doing it wrong. Now, the ones you can be on at the same time would be steps 4, 5, and 6. You do all of those at the same time, but in that priority order. At least the ones that are applicable to you. If something's not applicable to you, a step isn't applicable, you can skip it. And that doesn't mean if you don't think it, you don't feel like for you it's applicable. No. Like baby step 2, if you have non-mortgage debt, then it's applicable to you. No, it's not applicable to you. You can't say, well, it's not applicable to me because I just don't want to do that. You can't say that. So you can just by all means, do it wrong if you want to because it's your money and your life. Anyway, hello, I'm a complete mess. Of course you are, because you think you're on multiple baby steps at the same time in addition to baby step 1. You're dumb. Did I? No. Oh, I didn't need that one. Oh, no, I wanted to leave one of those open in case. We won't need it, though, because I won't use it because I talked too long about the first question. And some of the other ones, probably, some people would think. I've completed baby step 1. Well, then you're not on baby step 1, sir or madam, if you did that. I can't tell in the picture. So you're on baby step 2. Congratulations. I have some loans on equipment for a side business, $500K, and that again, you should not do business. You should not take loans out. You should not take $500,000 of loan out to start a business on baby step 1. You're a dumbass for doing that, and probably you did it before you even were following the Ramsey stuff, and because you did that dumbass crap, then you freaked out about your finances, and then you Googled pay off debt, and then you found our good Mr. Ramsey. Let's see. I own my home, $275K. I own a short-term rental, $320K. We're selling the short-term rental. Or are you renting it? Like you yourself, you're paying for the rent on it. I think probably you own a rental, and so that's a no. You would not do that while you had this debt. And you shouldn't have bought a house as a rental, as a business thing. You don't get a mortgage on that. You don't do loans on it, but you apparently think that you do, or did think that. I'll lose my job in the next year due to us being purchased by another company. It's looking like April-ish. We are a small tech company, and the owner had given me some equity as part of my compensation since I had been here for 8 years. Well, great. How much can you get? Oh, I looked to get about $500K before taxes when they cut me loose. Right. Guess where that goes? Your debt. So sell the rental, and that money can pay that off, but certainly try to pay more on it as you're working right now, because that's what you're on baby step 2. So that means you're paying off that loan. Sell the house right now, sell the short-term rental, and put all that the equity that you get from it, put all that into the business. Reborn Scenic said coach didn't sugarcoat it. I love it. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to. If you're being a dumbass, you need to be told you're a dumbass. If you're doing dumbass ass crap, and you know, I mean, I certainly don't have any problem with somebody doing what they want to do. If it's the not the Ramsey advice, knock yourself out. But then you want to post on the Dave Ramsey subreddit and get people's opinion. It says advice needed. So what kind of advice do you think you're going to get? If you're familiar at all with Dave Ramsey, you know he's the no debt guy. So that's what he's going to say. That's what people on here, for the most part, should be saying. But you probably have as many haters on here as you do Ramsey followers. Let's see. Have a good amount of my 401k, good amount of my grandkids' college fund. Okay, you stop contributing to the 401k, you stop contributing to the grandkids' college fund as well. I have a year plus of emergency fund. You take that down to 6 months, and that actually you take all that down. You put all but $1,000 of that to your dumbass debt, which you probably don't need to do that. Probably what you have maybe in savings, and also from the year emergency fund, and the rental. When you sell those, you'll be able to pay this off, and you'll be on step 3, and you can rebuild your savings. We give 10% as well. Okay, being on the baby steps does not change that, because that comes off as the top. It comes off at the top. I believe that's on gross as well. Let's see. I guess I didn't really go in order and never really listened to Ramsey steps prior to the last couple of months, give or take. So you have for the last couple of months, and what is your question? What don't you understand? So obviously you didn't go in order, but guess what? Because you didn't go in order before doesn't mean that's what you should keep doing now. You should go in order now. How about we do that? How about we do the experts' advice? The proven experts. 30 years experience, 20 million documented cases of success stories following these steps. Or you want to do your dumbass crap. Which one? You can pick. I don't have another job lined up since I can't really look this far out. Okay? You can still look at like types of jobs so you know what to look for when it comes time. Current salary is right at $300,000. Long-term home rentals that are paid for bring in $45K a year, and that goes to pay down the short-term rental. Yeah, you need to sell that. You're in too much debt, and you should not have a mortgage on that. Should not have a mortgage on that. So that's a no on that. Short-term rentals clears about 50 to 60K a year. That's not enough. You do not do that in baby step 2. Not sure my next move or my next more or where to work. I'm 55 and male. Thank you. You are so welcome. You stop doing your dumbass crap and you do the Ramsey advice. And as I said, that includes undoing the dumb crap that you did. You undo the loans for the side business. Hey, you know what? That equipment for that side business, you could sell that too. You sell that and you sell the house, and then you start doing things the Ramsey way. So you undo all the dumbass non-Ramsey stuff that you did before you started following Dave Ramsey. If you are doing that, who knows? Who knows? It says baby step 1, so if you want to follow the baby steps, then you sell your freaking rental. We don't do that. We don't do debt leverage on the Ramsey plan. Classic Fudge, 8605, 41, recently fired, 2 kids. Not sure if I should get another job, learn a trade, or try entrepreneurship. Advice? Okay, so the time to try entrepreneurship is probably going to be in step 7. You can do it on baby step 2 if it doesn't take, for example, $500,000 loan for equipment like that last person. But yeah, not sure if I should get another job. Yes, get another job. Now, you can still learn a trade. You can still try entrepreneurship, but you do it while you're working that other job and you build it at the speed of cash. People don't want to do that. They want to go ahead and borrow money to start a business and then work full-time in that business so they can build it up faster. I get it, but that's too risky. That's no. Mr. Ramsey is also the less risk guy as well. In addition to being the no debt and no debt leverage. Let's see, 41 years old. A restating of the title, probably, just as all that this is. Recently fired from a job. Right now, I only have a part-time job. Look for a full-time job. The only debts I carry are some parking tickets, an IRS business tax bill, and an Easy Pass bill. You're crazy. You're doing it wrong. If you have an IRS business tax bill, then you already tried in entrepreneurship, and by owing the IRS business tax bill, you did it wrong. You're not good at it. So you're not good at it. So that's a definite no there. I've been working since I was 12 years old. Great. Where's all the money? And honestly, haven't had much of a chance to figure out what I really want to do. That was your fault for doing other things other than figuring out what you wanted to do. Since I was 24, when I had my first job, I have mostly just taken jobs to provide and keep things stable for my family. That's what you got to do sometimes. Now that I have a little free time with just my part-time job, I feel stuck on which direction to go in. Well, also, you probably don't make enough money to live. Do you? Do I get another full-time job? How are you paying expenses? Now, if you have some other kind of income where you're able to make your monthly expenses, regardless of not having a full-time job, then that's a different story. Do I invest in learning a trade that could pay well long-term? No, because see, again, that could. And from my understanding, if you're recently fired, you probably need a full-time job. Or do I finally take the risk and pursue something I love as an entrepreneur? Where is the IRS business tax bill from? You already tried it and you failed. Any advice, especially from people who've been in a similar spot, would be really helpful. Thanks in advance. You build it at the speed of cash. You do not use debt, and you don't do it while you have debt. And you don't do it while you don't have a full-time job. You start it as a part-time job while you have a full-time job. So you should be doing that. Oh, let's take a look. What time is it? All right. Let's see. I just want to see if three minor debts away from being on baby step 3. They're minor, are they? Can you go full time at job 1? We're looking for a second job. Not at the moment. After the holidays, I'm picking up extra shifts, so it's full time, just no benefits. Yeah, you probably want something with benefits. If you're not willing to get another 2 jobs today as opposed to waiting for 4 months, you deserve everything you get. Oh, that's cold. I'm not opposed to working. That's not an issue. Shaking my head. Nobody cares if you shake your head about anything. Thanks for the feedback, however. Yeah, well, then work full-time then, if you're not opposed to working. Work full-time. Measured risk, don't drop your part-time job and take a loan out. Yeah, no loans. No loans. Take care of that IRS debt ASAP. Well, great. But I want to know how you're paying for expenses now. Just thanking people for the feedback. You're broke, you need a job that can cover your bills? Yeah. Just thank you for the feedback. Not giving any information. It's the internet. How do you just start a business with no resources? It's called bootstrapping. Highly recommend the book, The $100 Startup. I feel like for me that involves some scheming and scamming, and that's a no. And apparently it didn't work if you were unable to pay your IRS bill on a business. You may want to talk to a friend instead of posting, since as you can see, sometimes you will not heard what you want. Not hear what you want. Yeah. You're already at the age where you should have figured it out. Full-time job with benefits, provide for your kids. No free time, no fun. You're done. That's right. That's right. Not sure I think my kids aren't currently provided for, but thanks anyway. Where's the money coming from? That's what I need to know. So all I need are debts, kids, and not enough income to sustain your lifestyle. You can't afford to take any time off while you find yourself. Yeah. Pretty sure you read this with the Ramsey voice. And LOL, I had to laugh at the comments because they clearly have no idea what they're talking about. Oh, but you do. Well, then why did you ask on here then? It's the internet. It's Reddit. Why did you ask? Yes, I do have those minor debts, but he's so dismissive of the minor debts. But in my opinion, yeah, it doesn't matter what your opinion is. Your opinion is wrong. Nothing major compared to something like a car loan or student loan. Oh, no. It's the combined amount of them, which is the problem. And of course, the IRS debt proving that you can't run a business. I just wanted to be open and list them. Yeah, well, you weren't open and saying how you're paying expenses now. My tax bill is about $500 for alleged late filing fees. So he filed on time, but IRS is saying no. I don't know. Honestly, to be honest, the best time of my life was when I was being my own boss. Yeah, but you couldn't file on time, apparently. And great question on my part. If I do say so myself, why aren't you still doing that business then, dumbass? Even when I'm working full time, I love the freedom of running my own thing and being in control. Sure, I'm sure it's great. Never stopped holding a full-time job while I'm pursuing entrepreneurship. I'd go both going. Now I have a little more time. I'm looking for advice, not criticism. The criticism is the advice to not do that dumb crap anymore. See, just wants to hear what he wants to hear. Wanted people to tell him, oh, you can do what you want to. Anyway, I don't wish you were working a job. Well, a full-time job you do, because you're not getting one. Or even going after acting. I just want to hear what guidance and perspectives are out there. Well, my perspective is you're doing it wrong. Unless you have some other source of income that's paying your bills. And if you don't need to work, then you don't need to work a full-time job. I've never given it a full shot. Yeah, because acting as a career is so easy to do. Yeah, most people that want to be actors, of course, don't have to end up working at restaurants their whole lives. Dumb. So dumb. Yeah, so dumb. And just a lot of just thanks for the feedback. And even when he knows darn well that people are right and he's wrong and that he's an idiot. All right. Okay. Great. So tomorrow night, probably another answering your financial questions. And what will we talk about? If there's a duplicate, apologies, TransUnion, just let me know of a cyber incident. Okay, cyber incidents do happen, of course. Honest question for Dave. Ramsey's followers don't mean to be disrespectful. Hardcore Ramsey followers. Something I genuinely want to put out there for discussion. Ramsey method, all about getting out of debt and living within your means. It's great in theory. It's great in practice too, and it does work. What we see in practice is that it can create self-imposed monastic lifestyle that starts to affect everyone around you. That's everyone around you's problem then. It ain't none of their business what your finances are. It's none of your business what your Ramsey follower friends, it's none of your business what they're doing with their money. So it doesn't matter what your opinion is about it. That's the whole thing, man. People in general, especially more so today than ever probably, people think that their little opinion about something means everything. And it doesn't. It doesn't mean crap. Even mine, it doesn't mean crap. I mean, I'm talking about a proven way, 30 years experience, 20 million documented success story. It's proven. Okay? And Mr. Ramsey, of course, thinks that's the way you should do it. That's why he named it that way. And I think that's the way you do it because I followed it and it worked. It's working. Continues to work. And so, what was my point here? I did have a point. About people thinking their little opinion. So, my opinion is so important. I have to put this in the Ramsey subreddit and ask about it because the general thinking by these Ramsey people is not what I think. So they must be wrong, or there's something that I'm not understanding. No, you're understanding it. You just have an overvalued opinion of your opinion. And so that's like the same thing about how the other person said, shaking my head. Who gives a crap if you're shaking your head? That doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care if you're shaking your head. I don't care what your opinion is of anything I'm doing. Go to hell. How about that with your opinion and your head shaking? So this is nutty. I'll read the rest of this tomorrow. Or the next stream, whatever happens, probably tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, answering your financial questions live. Our 2026 baby step plan, just looking at the title, why aren't we starting today? When you decide that the Ramsey advice is the best advice to do financially, you should start it right that second. Why the delay? People are nutty by delaying. Do I sell for cash offer? Yeah, if you want to sell it. I'm assuming it's a house. We'll see. New to this, advice appreciated. Don't do your same dumbass crap. Don't be surprised if you have to change all the dumbass crap you were doing and stop doing it. Don't be surprised by that. That would be my advice without reading your particular deal. Baby step 4, 5, and 6. How's it going? Fine. No problem. Baby step 1, flare. Dave Ramsey approach to home renovations. In baby step 1, that's a no. And cash only when your kitchen is falling apart. I find, for me, that people exaggerate their situations to hashtag justification station them spending money or getting a loan for something. Now, if there's something broken in the kitchen, fix it. That doesn't mean you need to remodel the entire thing. So we'll find out what's going on with that as well. High mortgage debt question. If it's high mortgage, if it's too much, if it's past especially if a 30-year mortgage, if it's more than 25% of your take-home pay, then it's too much. Then yes, it's high mortgage and you should go down in a house. Sell it and you buy a much cheaper one. wedding input. See what that is. They're out engagement. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. So this might be a country to country thing, culture to culture thing. Don't know, because somebody's Lebanese, but born and raised in the U.S. So maybe we'll see what that's all about. A new vehicle. You should not be buying a new vehicle, and maybe they mean new to them, because some people, once you start doing the Ramsey advice, then you might say new vehicle and it means new to you, but a used vehicle. So we'll have to see about that. Might have to cash 401k. No, you don't have to do that though. You try everything else first. That's the last thing to do. People always want to run to the retirement account to try to fix some problem, and that doesn't really fix it, because that's a quick fix usually, and that doesn't change your behavior. And so you could do that. It's not advised to do that because there's too much in penalties coming out. 10% in penalties to take it out early. And also because it's a 401k, you have taxes on the gains. I think you have taxes on the gains too if you don't wait until retirement. So that's going to be a no. And you try everything else first before you do that. And I think even bankruptcy, I think 401k is protected. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. Not a lawyer. Looking for some reinsurance or a smack in the face. Okay, because you put the smack in the face, I'm going to go ahead and say you know darn well you deserve a smack in the face for this. For whatever dumb crap you're talking about here. You know darn well it's not the Ramsey advice, and you know it. Otherwise, I don't know why you would put this in the question or as the title. Okay. All right, so once again, I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, and if you, yes you, are having money problems, or you're doing dumbass things, or just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me by emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Maybe you need the baby steps explained to you. I'll be more than happy to do that, because a lot of people misinterpret them and think you can be on more than one at the same time if you're in step one, if step one is one of them. Donations, paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, CashApp, you $Coach Steve Money, or the same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com, for a Walmart gift card. Upcoming streams, they are subject to change. The Ramsey Show After Show, this coming Monday, Wednesday, September 29th, and September 29th and October 1st, or the Monday and Wednesday. And maybe, that's supposed to say, did not fix that. Friday, October 3rd, if I'm not moving on that day. Plus answering your financial questions, streams, 8 p.m. Saturday and or Sunday. Today is the Saturday one, September 27th. Tomorrow, September 28th. And I might do one as there. Probably will. Tuesday and Thursday, September 30th and October 2nd are also 8 p.m. streams. The answering your financial questions streams. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart, it says it right there, make smart financial decisions every day.